Hi there, you're watching The Appreciationist, and my name is Peter Hartman. Tonight's show, we're going to be talking about never give up, never surrender. We are happy to have our 150th episode here today. So it's been a long time. We've been doing this show. It's been a lot of fun, and we're going to talk more about that later on in the show this evening. But before we get to that, I want to let you know about a TLOA update and a quick TLOA update for this week. All right, so if you don't know what's happening, at the beginning of the show, we do a segment where I let you know what's happening, TLOA, what we're thinking about, what events we're planning. We have a social potluck picnic coming up, and that's going to be on actually this Sunday at 12 p.m. That's going to be a social potluck picnic for TLOA. So come, it's only, I think, $3 for that. You can just bring some things to snack on, maybe enough to share with somebody else. We'll be bringing the utensils, the cups, and all that good stuff, and we'll set everything up, and all you need to do is come to have a very good time. We're also going to be having a discussion about living a meaningful, purposeful, joyful life, and we're going to be collaborating with Self-Discovery Montreal in order to do that. You can find out more information about that at thelawofattraction.ca. We also have a French meetup that's coming up on the 24th of this month. It's called Les Secrets de la Loi de l'Attraction. That's going to be hosted by Valerie Soule, which is one of our resident life coaches. You can find out more information about the meetup at meetup.com or lawofattraction.ca. Click on events. I'm sorry, click on calendar, or you can find out more about Valerie Soule at thepowerofemotions.ca. She's really wonderful, so you definitely want to check her out. All right, I think that's it for our schedule here. If anybody's out there and you're wanting to join the show, I posted the link in the meetup, so just go over to our meetup page and click on the link that's posted in the comments below. The reason the link is posted there is because we don't want just passerbyers coming in. We want people who actually want to be on the show to be here. You can also go to theappreciationist.com and click on live show, and the link will be posted there right now, so definitely go and check that out. All right. The most important thing we do during the show is called a moment of appreciation, and that's where we look back at the past 7 days, or the past 14 days now, since we didn't have a show last week. We pick out something that we appreciate. It could be something good that happened that's easy to appreciate, or it could be something that wasn't so great, but that we can see the value in today. Well, my mode of appreciation is pretty simple, actually. I completed yet another milestone this past week by hosting and performing at an event at Montreal Comic-Con 2017. So my brother, he had this wise idea, this brilliant idea to contact the organizers there, and they've never had a comedy show. They've had something called BattleCom, which is a great show created and hosted by Paul Ash, where they do sort of battles with jokes on specific themes, and it's like a cool little game show. So that was a lot of fun to go see. I went to see that. But we put our own show on, and my brother contacted them to do their first ever straight-up comedy show at the event. Actually, I'm so proud of it. He created this flyer that I even want to show to you. I can. And this is the flyer. They made it look like Star Wars, comics, Star Trek, and Game of Thrones. It's a geeky event. If you don't know about Comic-Con, it celebrates comics and geekdom and that whole world, and so it was a total blast. Oh my God, we had such an amazing time. We had about 150 people come out to our event. Our room was packed, it was full almost to the brim, and it was intimidating. Honestly, it was very intimidating, and nerve-wracking, but you got to do it anyway. You got to do it anyway. You got to move forward. And what was fun about that is that 15 minutes before the show began, I think we had about 6 to 10 people in line, and we didn't know what was going to happen. But Tom was right. They started filing in afterwards, and we had so many people come out. And the show was fantastic, and the comedians were great, and we had a great time. And there were technical issues, but we resolved them, and it all worked out very, very well. So we're really happy, hoping to do some more next year and the year after that. So that's my moment of appreciation. I just so glad. Thank you to everybody who came out to that show. Thank you for those in our meetup group who came out to that show, those who are connected to the Law of Attraction to come out there, or Self-Discovery Montreal. You guys really great, really great. Good to see you there. It was my first time hosting a comedy show, and it was probably my third or fourth time doing a duo act with my brother. So both my brother and I were on stage. Actually, maybe I can pull up that Facebook page here. You can get a quick look at what I'm talking about. What's the point of having this computer here if you can't use it for good stuff? All right, let me just pull that up, and the rest of us. So, yeah, so I do now I do stand-up comedy with my brother. Let's put it on the screen here. There we are. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm pretty sure I've shown this picture before, but anyway, I'll leave it up on the screen for now. It was fun hosting with him. I'm taking my time to appreciate what happened because I'm the only one on the show right now, and why not? The moment of appreciation is all about mining those experiences for those positive thoughts. So I'm doing that right now. We had a great time. It was my first time being at Comic-Con, so that's something else that was a plus. And I got to get there for free because I was performing at the event. So, I mean, oh my God, could a guy get everything he wants? I mean, is it really fair? Sometimes I think my life is not fair. I get things that I'm really not supposed to have. But it was totally a lot of fun. Got to see some gladiators fighting, got to see some cool costumes, and I got to see a world that I've been learning about and editing videos of, but never really been to. So it was really fun to be there. That's it for my moment of appreciation. I can go on and on about Montreal Comic-Con, but you can check that out at facebook.com/andtherestofus, or you can find us on Instagram at The Rest of Us, or you can follow me. I love Peter Hartman. That's a whole other story why we called it I Love Peter Hartman. All right, you guys, the topic for the show this week is called Never Give Up, Never Surrender. And I really loved that. I first heard that phrase in what was a Toy Story, and I think it was Buzz Lightyear, and it really connected with me. I mean, I was young when I watched it, but I've seen it many, many times since then, and I really love that spirit. Never give up, never surrender. Now, of course, there are times when giving up is perfectly fine, and there's nothing wrong with giving up or surrendering, but I like this attitude of personal resolve, when you resolve yourself to something no matter what's happening. And I find that not everybody does that. Not everybody engages with their opportunities, engages with their ambitions or desires with this idea that says, I'm never going to give up, I'm never going to surrender. I'm going to resolve myself towards this action. I'm going to resolve myself towards this journey. I feel like sometimes people are ready to give up. They're ready to stop. If the excuse is good enough, if the obstacle in front of you is big enough, then you'll find some reason to stop. But I don't know if you want to do that. I was thinking about the subject here today, thinking about what I could talk about on the show, and I remembered a time when I was in high school? I was in elementary school. I was in 6th grade, if I'm not mistaken. Oof, I want to remember if I'm in high school or 6th grade, but let's say 6th grade. We went out to the park, and there was this big track at the park, this track and field area, and so we ran on this red track. Big track, running around in a circle, and our challenge that day was to run sort of not a sprint but a marathon, so just to run as much as we could. And I distinctly remember, I don't remember much, but I distinctly remember about this day, about this time, because I remember running on the track, and getting very, very tired, getting very, very exhausted. And I looked around me, and there were some people who were doing very well, people who were fitter than I was, people who ran faster than I was, and they were ahead and they weren't slowing down. But you had the vast majority of people who were dropping like flies, who were stopping, who weren't running, who gave up. And I remember looking over to them, and I remember feeling that tired, feeling that exhaustion in my body, but recognizing that I could go on further. And I looked at everyone else, and I realized, hey, they're giving up, but I know they have more in the tank. I mean, they don't look that exhausted. I know they can run more. Why don't they run more? They gave up. They didn't have it in their head like I did to run as far as I possibly could. I ran until I literally couldn't run anymore, until the next step was impossible. I didn't win, but I ran and I never quit. And I remember thinking that I had something in my spirit that I thought was very valuable, this idea that I was going to engage with whatever activity that I did, and I wasn't going to quit no matter what, as long as I could take another step forward. And I thought that was an important thing to have back then, and I still think so today. Sometimes we engage with our desire and ambition, and sometimes we engage with that and we're feeling alive with life, we're feeling inspired, we're feeling uplifted, we're feeling motivated. But then, a day or two or a week or a month goes by, and that resolve goes away, and that determination goes away, and that motivation goes away. And when you lose that, then people go, oh, well, I'm not going to do it now because I no longer feel motivated, I no longer feel inspired. What? What are you talking about? What kind of conversation are you having with yourself? When you're engaging with your ambitions and your desires, don't let the operating principle be, I will continue as long as it's easy or it feels good. Let it be that I'm going to continue even through the times that are not good, which are sure to come. Those dips, those downs, those negative moments, those destructive moments, those failures, that exhaustion, it will come. I mean, of course it will come. If you're doing anything worthwhile, it's going to tax you, it's going to challenge you, it's going to push you beyond your comfort zone, push you beyond your limits and your boundaries, and you're going to have to find a way to overcome them, because that's where growth comes from. That's what makes us better. That's what makes it so that we earn our opportunities. If anybody could do it, if it was completely simple, then everybody would have it and everybody would do it. The reason you're doing it is because you have a desire to expand beyond who you are right now. And in order to do that, you have to cross over the boundary of what you're familiar with and what you're accustomed to and what is easy into the realm of the unfamiliar, to what is hard, what is difficult, to that challenge area. And I think it helps when you engage with those things with an attitude that says, I am going to do it no matter what. I'm gonna keep going until I can't go anymore. And you know, sometimes you get to a point where you can't go anymore, you run out of money, your health takes a dive, you have relationship issues, whatever it is. But even at the back of your head, tell yourself, I'm going to take a temporary pause, but I'm going to find some way in order to move forward after this. Just have it in your head that you're not going to give up and you're not going to surrender, because life is so much fun when you are resolved towards your ambitions, when you're resolved towards your desires. Suddenly, the thoughts that pop into your head that make you question and make you doubt, they make you laugh instead, and you realize, oh, there's my brain again, there's that voice again, there's that part of me again that wants me to quit, that wants me to stop, that tells me that I can't go on. But I expected that voice, I live with that voice, I know that voice is there, I don't listen to that voice. It's just a voice that's in my head, and it's part of the choir that sings up there. So look, I wanted to talk about resolve. I wanted to talk about never giving up, and I don't want to give you the impression that you should feel shame or embarrassed if you feel like giving up. There's nothing that says that you must move forward. I think life is a lot of fun when you have that attitude in mind. And there are times where I've given up. There are times where I've quit. But more often than not, I don't quit and I don't surrender. And that's what kind of led me with comedy. Led me to continue with comedy. I really don't get. Of all the joy that I get with comedy, and as in love with comedy as I am, when it comes to performing, it's really not who I am. I'm not a performer. But doing comedy has taught me so much. Doing comedy has made me funnier, has made me more confident, less anxious, and has given me a whole variety of tools and connections that I can use even for the work that I'm doing outside of comedy. And if you had asked me to predict what was going to happen once I started doing comedy, I might have been able to predict half of that, but I wouldn't have known where I would end up. I wouldn't know that I would end up in front of more people than I've ever had before, doing a job that I thought was impossible for me to do. I wouldn't have thought that I would have this ability and the opportunities that I have when it comes to hosting events, when it comes to the people that I meet. But all of that was born out of my doing comedy and not quitting. And I'll tell you, quitting comedy, I think about that on a regular basis. It pops into my head almost daily, especially when there's something that I have to plan for, that I have to work towards. But I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. And the reason I started doing comedy was because my brother wanted to do it, and it is his dream. And I know how easy it is to quit something, and I know that although we try to do everything ourselves, we do require other people. We do need other people. And so I saw my brother wanting to tackle this challenge, and I didn't want him to quit. And so I said, I'll do it with you for as long as you want to do it. Because I don't want you to quit. And I don't think you'll be able to quit your dream if you see someone who looks like you. It's my twin brother, someone who looks like you, who's living the dream, who's doing what you want to do. So I decided I was going to do it without quitting. I decided to do it for someone else, for my brother, and that gave me the motivation in order to move forward. It taught me that I can really do anything and not quit when it comes to helping my brother. And so often when it comes to my own private world, with the other things that I do, I tell myself, well, I'm going to do this thing for my brother. I'm not going to quit, and I'm not going to give up, because I'm doing it for my brother. And I find that I get a lot more done when I include him in the equation. That's what motivates me. And I don't want him to quit, so I won't quit. And I kind of feel like this is going to lead me to places, even more places that I've never been before. I'm really looking forward to it. I felt like I was talking my moment of appreciation, but I was really talking about the topic of the show, wasn't I? What else do I have here in my notes? Obstacles. You know, we face these obstacles. Obstacles are in our way, but those obstacles are there in order to challenge us. Not only to challenge us, but overcoming those obstacles make you stronger. You got to remember that. Overcoming the obstacles that are before you makes you stronger, makes you capable, makes you worthy of what it is you're reaching for. If you've ever gone to the gym If you ever try to learn a new skill, you know it starts off by not being easy, not going well, having difficulties, finding obstacles. But you also know that if you kept up with those things, that those obstacles help you to do even better. When I first learned to play the guitar, I found a guitar in a storage space under our stairs. I even know it was there. My older brother had this guitar. Now, I picked it out. I cleaned it up, and it turns out it was a 12-string guitar, and very difficult to learn the guitar in a 12-string guitar. At least for me, it was. It was an obstacle. And what did I do? Well, I didn't have any money to buy a guitar. My mother didn't have any money to buy me a guitar. I wasn't going to dare ask her for that. You know, with living a life in poverty, you don't want to start spending money on things that aren't crucial. But I still wanted to play the guitar, so I just took off 6 of the 12 strings, and I played on a 12-string guitar. Now, playing on a 12-string guitar, you think, oh, well, problem solved. There you go. But what really happened was that the strings were further apart, and it was actually hard to play those 6 strings on that guitar. It was a big, bulky guitar. But I practiced in it anyway. And it was hard, and it was challenging, and it hurt my fingers like it's supposed to. And when I finally saved up enough money to buy my own guitar a couple of years later, I found it so much easier because I had practiced on something that was hard. You're going to face obstacles in your life. You should expect those obstacles, but you should also expect yourself to be able to deal with those obstacles and to grow from it. And the bigger the obstacle, and the more you challenge yourself to go through it, the better off you're going to be. The stronger you'll be, the better you'll be. You know, there are a lot of people in life that I admire. There are a lot of people that I care about. There are a lot of people that I look up to, role models in my life. And the role models that I really appreciate are the ones who had difficult times. I'm not really inspired by those people where it was all easy and it was a matter of fact. I like those people who have those stories where they had to overcome doubt, their own doubt, the doubt of other people, where they have to overcome challenges, especially those ones where people didn't have the resources in order to move forward, only the willpower and the willingness to experience discomfort. And I think that if you look at the people that you admire, that you appreciate, you're going to see a lot of that too. You're going to find people that you that went through challenges, that went through hard times, and to be inspired by that. What else can I say on the subject? Never give up. Never surrender. I think it's an important motto to have in your mind. And it's not an absolute, it's not some rule that you have to be hard and fast and live by. But I encourage you to apply that philosophy, that perspective, that principle to whatever it is you're doing, whether it's learning to cook a meal, whether it's playing an instrument, whether it's going on a date or try to find love, whether it's starting your own business, or whether it's just to do something for fun. Enter it with the spirit of resolve, of resolution, and see if it doesn't make it easier for you to do. There's just something where when you're fighting the thing that you're doing, when you're fighting to achieve your success, but then you're also fighting yourself, that can be a little heavy and not necessary. So don't fight yourself. Let yourself off the hook. You will feel up, you will feel down, you will feel motivated, you will feel unmotivated, you feel inspired, and you won't feel inspired. And through all that, expect yourself to keep moving forward. Some days you'll take 10 steps forward, some days you'll take 2 steps forward, but keep moving forward. And when those days come where you feel like you're taking a step back, you tell yourself, it's okay, I expected this. This is not going to discourage me. I will move on. And if you feel discouraged and if you feel down, then there are people out there like me, like Sam, like Valerie, who can help you out. And you can find them at samanthabarley.com. You can find Valerie Soule at thepowerofemotions.ca, and you can find yours truly at peterpaulhartman.com, or everybody at thelawattraction.ca. Sometimes you need a life coach. Sometimes you need a motivational consultant who can help you out. There's no shame in asking for help, but whatever it is you do, get on board with the idea of never giving up and never surrender. Look, I know it's been 20 minutes or so, but I think that's all I've got on this topic for right now. If you have any questions, or if you have anything to say, please feel free to send that in to us. Please note that we have a picnic coming up this Sunday, so if you're looking for something to do, we're going to be outside enjoying ourselves at Angrillon Park, and that's going to be at 12 p.m. So come out, we're going to have fun. We might even have sangria for sale for you, so if you're interested in having a drink with some like-minded friends, definitely come out to something like that. That's it for the show, everyone. Thank you for participating or for watching the 150th episode of The Appreciationist. I have no idea where this is going to go, but I know that doing the show has made me so much better. It's taught me to be a better listener. It taught me to improvise. And if it wasn't for this, I think comedy would have been 10 times harder. It's helped me in all facets of my life. And if I can encourage you to do anything, find something to do, find a camera to talk into, start writing something down, and do it over and over and over. And there are going to be times where you feel like, not today, I don't want to do it. That's okay. But as much as you can, get into your head, not to quit, not to surrender, because you have no idea where it will lead you. I want to thank everybody who's been on the show for the past 150 episodes. I want to say thank you to our friend Luke for participating as often as you did. I'm sure I'm forgetting people, but you guys are really, really wonderful. There was something that I wanted to mention. I'm going to remember it in 5, 4, 3. Yes. I think after 150 shows, we deserve a break. I think we deserve a little bit of a break. So summer is here, and I think we're going to take a few weeks off. We might come back with a revamped show, change the format a little bit. We'll see what goes on there. I'm excited about the show. Everything that I'm doing has motivated me to continue with it. So I'm going to find some ways to change how things go, maybe do a live sort of thing, do a recorded event, recorded show. I don't know, but we're going to take a little break for the next couple of weeks to figure that out. I am so proud that we made it to 150 episodes, and we're definitely going to make it for 150 more. So stay tuned. If you're not a Patreon yet for the Law of Attraction, go over to patreon.com/the Law of Attraction and support us if you'd like to. You can donate as little as $1 there per month, or it could be $5 or more. If you're in Montreal, you definitely want to do that because you get some great discounts. And then we also post some great videos on our Patreon page for patrons only. So there's some full-length events there, so some cool clips, some dialogues. We're going to be posting more things there, so definitely go ahead and check that out. That's patreon.com/the Law of Attraction, or you can just go to thelawofattraction.ca. You can get access to everything that we're doing. You guys have been great. Thank you so much for your patience. Thank you so much for watching the show, and tune in next Wednesday. Not next Wednesday. keep your eyes open for the next episode of The Appreciationist. Take care.